Making an album for an indie artist is a dream come true. And with modern technology, the power is in your hands to make it happen. However, making an album at home is expensive though. So this week and next, I've decided to share some tips on where I think you should be spending money and where I think you should be saving money when it comes to making an album at home. Without sacrificing quality too much, of course. Let's blast off and get started. I can't stop with these boys from California. Konnichiwa, cyborgs! I'm Jonathan Miller, and welcome back to Jonathan Miller Music, helping you become a better songwriter. I make futuristic and outer space-inspired dance pop music, and every Wednesday on this channel, I'm helping others take their music to level 2. That sounds good? Consider subscribing. If not, wow, okay. I'm trying to help you out, and you can't do one nice thing for me. The world needs more kindness, and I'm not trying to be that bitch that, expects favors in return for things, but I'm just saying it's really hard filming and editing and syncing audio, color corrections sometimes if I feel like it, caring, that's the worst. What was I talking about again? Oh yeah, subscribe! Okay, so like I said before, this video is going to be broken up into 2 parts. The first part is all about where I think you should be spending the extra cash for when it comes to making an album as an indie artist. Part 2 is going to be up next week, and it's going to be all about places I think you can save money. Also, I'm not going to give you an exact number budget because everybody's financial situation is different. Also, if you're hiring out certain jobs, everyone's rate's going to be different, so the budget is really up to you. I'm just going to be sharing my thoughts on where I think a good chunk of change should be going towards. And with that cleared up, let's get into it. The first place I think you should be spending money is your microphone setup. Get a good quality condenser microphone for your recording. I use an AKG Perception 220 and it's lasted 11 years and the sound quality is still wonderful. Condenser microphones also require phantom power, so you'll need to get an additional audio interface as well. For that, I use the iTrack Solo by Focusrite. It's simple, lightweight, and it hasn't failed me once. It helps you adjust the audio levels and I love it. I also recommend you spend the extra $10 and get a pop filter because it's just gonna help diminish any S's or P's in your recordings. It'll make them sound less harsh, so it'll be worth it. And of course, if you've got the bigger budget and you've got room for it, get better equipment, obviously. This is just what I recommend. The next place I think you should spend some money on is getting a good digital audio workstation or DAW. As much as I've used GarageBand and I recommend it for beginners, now having really explored Logic, I really feel like getting a pro level DAW is worth it. There's a few out there for you, but the popular ones are Ableton Live or Logic Pro. I know tons of EDM producers who use both. I know deadmau5 loves Ableton. I know Armin van Buuren loves Logic. I personally like Logic, but both of those are totally awesome. The advanced mixing you can do while writing and recording your music is just so worth it, even if you're just making demos. Logic is like this extraordinarily advanced version of GarageBand, and the two sync together very seamlessly, so if you start a project in GarageBand, you can finish it up in Logic with more advanced tools. It's really nice. And I think it's definitely worth spending the $200 getting a professional program and then taking a lot of time to familiarize yourself with it. Because just because you know GarageBand does not mean you know Logic. Trust me. So even if you don't mix or produce your own music, I still think it's worth the investment in the long run. Plus, the quality of your demo is going to be much better so you can communicate exactly what you want from your mixer or your producer. Which brings me to my next place I think you should spend money. Hire a producer. If you've got the money to have somebody else work the controls while you're recording, spend it! My album, The Space Between, cost over $20,000 to produce, and now that I'm really producing my own music, that $20,000 was so worth every penny having somebody else work the controls. I still think you should learn a little bit about producing so you know how to communicate what you're wanting, but oh my god, it's a lot of work. A professional producer knows exactly what they're doing. There's not a ton of guesswork and wasted time, and you'll get the quality recordings that you deserve. They will help bring your vision of a song to life. The next place I think is worth spending some money, hiring an audio engineer. Now this kind of goes hand in hand with a producer, as oftentimes they're the same person. I got pretty lucky with my producer, Peter Roberts, who did The Space Between, because he was the mixer / audio engineer as well as the producer. However, depending on your genre, this might not be the case. So always always just do your research with who you want to work with. A mixer or audio engineer is going to make everything in your song sound balanced. The bass, drums, keyboards, everything. They're going to make sure your song sounds great no matter where it's heard, from headphones, speakers, car stereo. They're going to make it sound awesome. These people are the magic makers behind songs and spend years at school learning about audio frequencies and wavelengths and all that sort of stuff. So hiring a professional that knows what they're doing is always best. If you're recording at home, find a mixer you can send all your files to so they can blend everything together for you, from FX to compression, all of it, and they're worth the money. Fiverr or Upwork are great places for finding an audio engineer, but please be cautious when you do that. Read reviews, email them beforehand, ask to see examples of their work, and make sure they specialize in your genre. That's so important, not only for you, but for them as well. The last place I think is really worth spending some money is getting a graphic designer or photographer. We are singers and songwriters. Chances are we are not the best graphic designers. I know I'm not. It's okay. Go get pro photographs taken and then outsource a graphic designer to do your album art. Also, I am a huge advocate for not cheaping out on a photographer or graphic designer and paying them what they deserve. Just like us, they work really hard in their art and their reputation is on the line when they do this. So they want to deliver good quality and you should pay them for it. I don't want somebody skimping me on my music. Why would I do that to somebody else in their art? Plus, I have had plenty of friends and family who are graphic designers and photographers that have been shortchanged. And you know what? It's not fun and it's not fair. So don't do that. Be clear in what you want and then give a little creative freedom. Your album art is the face of your project. So get quality work now to save yourself regret later. So that is part 1 for budgeting an album for indie artists. Question of the video, who's gonna produce your next album? Leave me a comment below letting me know. And before you go, I want you as a producer on my next EP. That's right, I just launched a crowdfunding campaign for my new EP and I need your help to release it. You could even be listed as a producer on the physical CD of my EP as well. Even just $1 helps. If you choose to become a patron, I want you to know I really, really, really appreciate your support. So anyway, if you wanna go check that out, there's a link in the description below so you can find out more information there. Also, don't forget, part 2 is coming next week. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like on it and subscribe if you're new. I put out new videos every single Wednesday. Once again, I'm Jonathan Miller, and I will see you next time. Mata ne!